Okay, so I wanted to stop right here and just talk a little bit about this experiment we've got going on over here at Shooting Science. So I had this idea where I wanted to test the felt recoil as well as the accuracy for myself for a bunch of different lesser known brands of 9mm ammunition to figure out if any of them were any good or better than the more mainstream brands because they are considerably less money. So the first thing I wanted to do is come up with some kind of a test, right? What I did and what I came up with was that I would just run the same target with the same gun and the same shooter myself, and I'll just do 5 targets in each corner of the target. So I had a couple of 15-round magazines, so I figured I would just put 5 rounds in each corner and then reload and do 5 more rounds in the last corner. And then I would just repeat that for each box of ammunition that I had. And then at the end, I would look at those groupings and see which ones looked the best, but also take notes along the way as to which ones felt the best to shoot. So throughout this video, each time I shoot a box of ammunition, I'm going to show you the grouping with a box next to the grouping so that you can see which ammunition it was that I shot, along with a label. Hopefully this test is helpful for you and it gives you an insight into some of these cheaper brands that are actually very good. This first ammunition that I'm using here is just my warm-up ammunition, which is a bit snappy, and that's on purpose. It's 115 grain, ammo incorporated, total metal jacket, or TMC, which is what it says on the box, stands for total metal case. I shot 2 magazines. I'm only going to shoot the bottom 2 squares, the innermost bottom 2 squares on the left and the right. Not bad, that'll work. Decent warm up.
Okay, baseline time.
In case I forgot to mention it earlier, I am using a totally stock Walther PDP Compact for this test. Now it's time to do my baseline, which is where I'm going to shoot a well-known, well-loved 115 grain ammunition, CCI Blazer 115 FMJ.
Reload, arm right. Counter.
So one thing that is a little funny that you may notice is you may hear me count sometimes. I'm just trying to get the right amount of bullets in each square, that's all.
5. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, so pretty good groupings there with the baseline with CCI Blazer 115 grain. Okay, next up we have CCI Blazer 124 grain. I figured let's do this one first because it's going to be the same brand as the baseline, and that way we can directly compare the two. Let's see how it does. Okay, so this one was interesting because I did better on the bottom 2 squares with even tighter groups. but on the top two squares, I had more dispersed groups. Next up, we have PMC Bronze, 124 grain. PMC is another one of those well-known ammunition brands. And so I wanted to incorporate it into this experiment so that we can see how it does against the lesser-known competition. PMC makes great ammunition, and we got a really good grouping here. On the bottom left corner, I don't know if I sent all 5 bullets through the same hole or if maybe the system didn't count a couple of my shots, but we can assume that it's a solid ammunition and it's very good. Next up, we have another well-known ammunition brand, Fiocchi. This is Fiocchi 124 grain range dynamics. So this Fiocchi ammunition felt like a little bit more of a blast to the hand. It had a little bit more recoil, and if you compare the video, you can see the muzzle flash is a lot bigger and brighter than compared to the CCI Blazer 124 grain. And the targets, though, between the CCI Blazer and the Fiocchi are very similar in terms of what I hit in my groupings. Next up, we have Remington Range 124 grain. Other than having hot brass launched into my eye, this box of ammunition was actually decent. I was able to hit consistent groupings on all 4 corners of the target. Okay, next we've got Ammo Inc. 124 grain, TMC. And if you didn't already know, TMC stands for Total Metal Case. The difference between a TMC bullet and an FMJ bullet is the jacket on a TMC bullet completely encases the lead core, including the base, while an FMJ bullet's jacket usually only covers the bullet except for the base. So TMC is really a nicer bullet, regardless of how it shoots, that reduces your lead exposure. Not only does the Ammo Inc. TMC ammunition reduce my lead exposure, but so far in this test, it was the most accurate and the most comfortable to shoot. I was able to hit even tighter groupings with this one. Here's one you may not have heard of. This is veteran ammo, 124 grain. Let's see how it does. So this ammunition has a little bit more recoil than the other ones, plus my hands were getting a little sweaty at this point, so I was having to readjust my grip, but just wait for the target results. So this ammunition surprised me. It was very, very good as far as the accuracy. As you can see, I was able to draw a circle in the top left target, and the bottom two targets, I was able to drill the same hole. Next, we have another one that you've probably not heard of. This is Troy Precision Target 124 grain. Let's see how it does. The first thing that I noticed about this one was that it was very comfortable to shoot, and it seemed like it had less recoil than all of the other types of bullets I had been firing before. I gotta say, I was very impressed by how comfortable this ammunition was to shoot and how accurately I was able to place my shots on the target. All right, here comes another one that you may not be familiar with. This is Precision 124 grain. I didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary with this one as far as recoil, but as you can see from the target, it was pretty accurate as well. This one has been around since 2002 and has been known for making cheap ammunition, but is it any good? Let's check it out. Max Tech, 124 grain. Yeah, guys, Max Tech is pretty good. The nice thing about this ammo is that it tends to run well in guns that are a little bit more picky about ammunition. I have a really picky Beretta with a compensator on it. I've got another PSA dagger with a compensator on it. And if I put Max Tech in those weapons, it runs flawlessly. It's also pretty accurate, as you can see from my target here. All right, and here we've got Igmend 124 grain. This is another one you may not have heard of, or if you have heard of it, You've probably seen it in rifles with 7.62 and 5.56. So we're going to test out their 9mm. Let's see how it does. One nice thing about Igman rounds is you'll notice very neat primer sealant in pink on the back of each bullet.
Igman is a little spicy.
Yeah, I felt like these Igman rounds were pretty spicy. They had a lot of power in them, like even more than the Max Tech, actually. But as you can see from the target, they're fairly accurate. Nice tight groups there. And here we have another lesser known brand. This is Panther 124 grain. Let's see how it does. While it's not bad ammunition for the price, other ones did better than this so far for the same price. It did have a bit of a kick to it, and I was not as accurate with this one than I was with some of the others. Here's another one that you probably haven't heard of. This is Patriot Sports 124 grain. Let's see how it stacks up. Okay, I'll be honest. I've shot this one before, and this was my go-to before this test. Some others have surprised me, but this one continues to be very comfortable and very accurate. Next up, we have Gecko 124 grain. Let's see how it does. All I gotta say is wow. This one was amazing. It was one of the most comfortable, and as you can see by this target, extremely accurate. I probably would have shot it even more accurate if it was one of the first ones that I shot, but it was the last one that I shot, and it was still very accurate, very comfortable. The only issue I have with this ammunition is since this test, I have not been able to find it. It has been sold out everywhere. So good luck. But if you see this one go on sale, go ahead and get it. It's really awesome.
Softest one to shoot was that Gecko for sure.
So now the moment you've all been waiting for. How would I rank them? Here are the results as I would rank them from my favorite to my least favorite. In other words, this is the order in which I would look to buy the ammunition. Some of the ammunitions are good for certain guns, like I mentioned earlier, Max Tech. is good for my Beretta. So if I'm looking for ammunition for that gun, I'm going to just go and get the Mag 7. But let me know if you disagree with any of these rankings, or if you've had experience with any of these types of ammunition, especially the lesser known kind. And leave your comments below. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are. I hope this helps you guys. And as always, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe.